Hello and welcome back to Xpwaste, where there's a new boss in town, and his name is Muffin. I'm Michael.
And I am Oxie. If you're new around here, welcome. We're a podcast that talks almost exclusively about Old School Runescape. But as I say often to the new folks, you probably knew that because you were probably looking for an Old School Runescape podcast. You found objectively the best one. We've been certified by every commission out there. We're awesome. We do also get off on tangents and occasionally talk about other things like other games or our real lives. The true definition of XP waste is getting off of your computer to go do something else. So, we talk about that kind of stuff too. If you're not new around here, I was up till 5:45 a.m. yesterday, and I didn't gain a single point of XP. So I am tired, and it's still where I was before I left to go to my surprise party. Michael, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I stayed up until 1:45 my time, but I got to sleep until like almost 10. So I got like a full 8 hours-ish. That usually happens every Sunday. Like my wife and I have it pretty good where we wake up around the same time during the week, but then on the weekends we split who gets to sleep in. So Saturdays are her days to sleep in. Sunday is my day to sleep in. And so Saturday night's game night for me, and I usually stay up pretty late and I get to sleep in, so I don't like feel the effects of it, which is kind of nice. I still get the normal amount of sleep, but you guys didn't come here to hear about my sleep schedule. I'm great. I'm doing great. I've got a slight cold. The thing about, having a family, oftentimes during the season, you just pass around the cold. So last week my wife was sick. This week I'm sick. The baby's been kind of, congested. So sore throat, congestion, all of it. I feel a little nasally. If I sound a little nasally, that's why. But other than that, the gains have been great. I've been watching Survivor again and woodcutting the entire time. So I'm up to nearly 15 million woodcutting XP. And it's great because I'll have a night of woodcutting and then I'll get clue nests the whole time because I'm chopping for 3 hours. I'll get easy, medium, and beginner. And I'll go and do them all. And then the next time I have a chopping session, I'll get more clues. So it's just been kind of a roundabout way of completing my goal for getting all the clue tiers this year without actually having to actually grind for them. So it's been fun. But yeah, this week has been woodcutting and a little bit of cooking. I'll be editing this episode, so I'll have a lot more cooking XP, but I'm approaching nearly 30 million cooking XP. If anybody was curious. And I can't wait for that message to pop up in the clan chat. It's the only reason I live these days is to get clan chat notifications.
You want to talk about that? I can get the notebook out. My work recently gave me a notebook. I can open the notebook for you.
I'm actively doing the thing that, I'm living for. So it's great. It's great. Other than, staying up way too late and not getting any sleep, how are you?
I'm good. I got a text yesterday at 2:00. I didn't have any plans to do anything besides go to the store because, I feel like I did nothing this past week in real life. I got a text at 2:00. It's like, hey, one of your former fencing teammates is having a surprise party tonight. Do you want to show up? I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, I do. So I went to the party, but it was the teammate's 20th birthday. So there were a lot of 20 and 21-year-olds who I love very dearly, mind you, but I'm old. I'm 26. So they were making jungle juice in a fucking container. And I was like, yeah, I'll just have my fourth or fifth beer and call it good, which is a lot for me. Normally I cap out at 3 and I'm good to go. I think I stopped drinking around 11 o'clock maybe. They kept going when I left at 5:30. Because I stopped drinking because I ran out of beer. I drank 5 in 2-3 hours. All right, good enough for me. And then I'm not a hard liquor guy, so they just kept going. And then by the time I was about to leave, I was driving one of my other teammates back to her apartment because she asked me. She's like, Oxy, are you drinking? I'm like, probably not, because I'm not gonna drink this jungle juice concoction that looks like sewer water. I'm not drinking it. She's like, awesome. I am. Can you drive me home? I'm like, fantastic. I'm like, I can do just that. Perfect. Have fun. So I ended up. It's really nice to see them and hang out with them. Ooh, Bloodville in the Meyerditch Laboratory. Thank you, Konar. I had a really good time last night. But when I left with my teammate at like 5:30 in the morning, they're like, "Yeah, we're about to go get a little bit more drunk, smoke a blunt, and go walk around in the woods. You want to come?" I'm like, "No, I don't want to go. I'm old. I'm tired. I'm an overweight asthmatic, and I want to go to bed." But I did wake up at like 10:30, so I got like a clean 4 hours of sleep.
Oh.
Because if I didn't, I would probably. There was a legitimate fear that I would still be in bed right now.
Wow.
I was like, dude, I have to get up because if I don't, I'm gonna be absolutely screwed for work in the morning, and B,
I was gonna say that throws a whole week off.
I'm very worried that Michael is gonna be calling me at like 4:30 around this time, being like, Oxie, are you coming to record? Like, I was very concerned. So yeah, thankfully we're good. We didn't have to worry about any of that. So we're here. We're a little sleepy, but we're all right. In game, God, what have I been doing in game? I've been doing Muspah, the moose, the slug, the hands down, like Nightmare had it for a while, hands down the ugliest boss in the game. Like, I have not seen a more grotesque creature other than the Guardians. But Jesus Christ, this thing looks horrible. It's gross. That said, the animations are beautiful. I get absolute props to the animation team for making, like, the graphics in our game are so good now, and they deserve so much credit for all the good things. But holy shit, Muspah is ugly. So I did a little bit of that. I got like 60 kills. But I've had like a busy IRL week. So like Muspah came out, I woke up, did the quest, tried to do 1 kill at work on like my laptop with bad ping, died at smite phase, and was like, I'm just going to wait till I get home. Did 50 the day it came out. The next day I went to fencing with the Lord Jake. He gave me all of his stuff because his internet is so bad right now. So I'm just like hanging on to, Torva, Missouri, all that. So I've got the 6 bill bank. I'm visualizing, manifesting it. I've got all the stuff. I was gonna make the money to buy it myself.
To replace it.
Pretty much, yeah. So I've got all his stuff. I did like 8 or 9 more kills. Friday I went to go meet a friend in Lansing, and we did Ark with the boys on Friday night. And then yesterday I had my party for my teammate, and I feel like I have done nothing else. Like, I've done Herbivore at work. It's been a not very notable week for me. I got ranked in expert mode TOA today. Actually, shout out to Jesse for
TOA.
Yeah, expert mode TOA. I hate it, but like,
I'm proud of you.
I mean, it's not when it's when it feels more mechanical, it's fine, but like, it still never feels great. So we're vibing. I've got a Slayer task that I'm gonna AFK for probably the rest of the show.
Are you getting close to 99?
No. I still have 1,043,000 XP. Because, like, I haven't been...
That's close in my book, dude.
I mean, close to me is, like, 200k away.
Oh.
So, like, I still have a long time. Like, I might not get 99 Slayer in January, but, like, I'm not too worried about it if I don't. It's January 15th, so I've got time. I got a Zilliana task. That's what threw me off.
Oh.
I got a 10th task at Konar, and it was 55 Zilliana. So it's like you can't do Zilli at work. At least I can't do Zilli at work.
Yeah.
So, I finished that today though, which was nice. So I've been doing a little bit of Commander Zilliana with some boys who've been coming out. So it's been fun.
Speaking of Slayer, 2 weeks ago, I got a Callisto task, and I did the math to figure out like exactly how many I had to do to get to 50 KC. And I finished it last night. I am officially ranked in Callisto.
Good shit. One more to go.
One more. And I'm really, really planning to do it before the 25th. Like, this week in the evenings, that's my plan if I'm not editing. I want to get this edited like as soon as possible so I can get to Venenatis and just bang out the rest of like the 30 36 kills that I have to do. I think it's 36.
Mm-hmm.
So should not be an issue to get ranked in wildy bosses before they change them. And like the safe spot that TMD gave me towards the end, I was like, this is really chill. This is way more chill than Vedion. I could foresee myself continuing to go kill Callisto, but it's in the wilderness. And it's going away in 10 days. 10 days as of the time of recording. So we'll see how it feels when they rework it, if it's any more fun. Because again, it's like I have no idea. We have no idea of like what it's going to be like. We know it's in a room. We know it's going to have like mechanics that are way different than just like stand by boss and whack it.
I'm still dreading that update, but that's just me probably being a dramatic bitch. But I'm really not looking forward to it.
Yeah,
we'll probably talk more about it closer to. But to reiterate, I think it's just going to be a PK's paradise. I think they are going to. I'm concerned it's going to be like Rev Caves 2.0, where like they're going to put all 3 bosses in a triangular hallway with like one way in, one way out. And once that happens, PK is just going to lock down the area, because they're going to be like, they said, oh, we'll have some like mid-level NPCs to stop them, but like bears are not going to stop Rot. I still suggest they put brutal black dragons and or demonic gorillas back there just to like really keep people away. But I bet very soon, whether it's a couple months or a couple weeks or whatever it is, that the area where the wilderness bosses are, they're gonna go, well, we didn't expect it to have this kind of a negative effect. I'm very pessimistically anticipating that the way around these bosses turns out to be a shit show. The changes to the bosses actually seem fun. Like, it seems like they're gonna make them engaging single and multi-combat encounters, and it's gonna be cool, hopefully. But I think I don't know, I really am not optimistic about this format, and I have voiced that grievance multiple times on Twitter and here on the show, but I guess time will tell in a few weeks. So
yeah, the glimmer of hope for me is that it's been a long time since they've announced it. Several months since they like were polling this, letting us know they were changing it. One can only hope that in these last several months that they've really put their heads together and tried to figure it out, and weren't just like, that seems like a great plan, moving on. And then they're like, oh crap, it's like 2 weeks away. I know they're not doing this, but like procrastinating the update is what I'm saying. We can hope that they're game devs and they know that they need to really figure this out, because the way that they are is not great, and the state of the wilderness is not great when it comes to clans locking down the wilderness. I really don't like that. I don't think it's how the game was supposed to be played. You can play the game however you want, but like it just seems like, I don't know, I can't formulate the words. It just doesn't seem right. So time will tell. It'll be, I think, the first episode in February is when we actually have time to see what happens and cover that, because unfortunately we'll be posting an update, or we'll be posting an episode the day after it comes out. It's kind of how the show works,
which is mad unfortunate. Which holy shit, dude, it's gonna be Superior Bloodveld Simulator again. I just got another one, Michael. We're getting those sussy wussy Superior Bloodvelds all episodes. It's gonna be great. Speaking of Michael and Oxie predicting everything incorrectly about a boss, listening to last week's episode where we were like, all right, cool. So what we know about PVM, there were probably multiple things to hit. So like Venator Bow is going to be best in slot, and Chompers are going to be good. Barrages are going to be good, but we thought for a different reason. We're like, oh, it's a Phantom, and that's undead. So like Salve is going to pop off, and it's going to be great. And we did not hit literally anything on the mark.
Nothing.
We wouldn't have expected where it would have been, what it would have looked like, what the set. We got another snow solo boss. I wasn't expecting the same biome as Vorkath.
Oh, that's true.
So,
well, anytime somebody posts a screenshot of it, I for some reason think they're in the God Wars dungeon, because like when they're all zoomed out,
Same.
it looks like they're in Zilliana or like
It really
yeah,
does.
it just throws me off.
Yeah, so we anyone who like spent millions in GP on chins or whatever because Xpwaste told you to, which like I really hope you didn't because it came out after the update. We really did not do like anything, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, I did not buy chins, thank goodness. Okay, I guess we can get into it because I feel like that's what we'll be talking about today since it's the most recent thing that happened, but I have not killed the boss much at all. I've done 6 KC, and every time I go in there, I'm like, yeah, this is not fun. Yeah, it's like really good money, but it's not fun. It's not fun for what I want to be doing right now. I'm not saying I won't go back because I do want to get ranked in every boss, like 50 KC, but there seems to be a discrepancy in the drops, in my opinion, because like people are green logging it sub 100 KC, and that's insane for a boss. Yeah, some of the stuff is really easy to get. Like the caches are pretty easy. The charged ice is almost guaranteed if you're fast enough.
Is guaranteed fast enough.
Okay, the charged ice is guaranteed if you're fast enough. It's almost a guarantee that you're going to get it is what I mean because eventually you'll get fast enough. Yeah, it's eventually guaranteed. And then what's left is what like literally it's just the icon, the pet, and the Venenator shards because the essence is also guaranteed. So you have it's like a 3-drop boss that I feel like the drop rates are really low. From my understanding, a full bow is like 1 in 500. So then the shards are 1 in 100. I don't know. That's what I heard somebody say, and like that's what the wiki as of a couple days ago was predicting just based on data. No, they haven't released the drop rates, but
like drop table like project stuff. Yeah. I mean, we were right in that regard. It's like Zalra.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's a hybrid of both right now, which I'm sure we'll talk about here in a second. But like Zalra's uniques are 1 in 128 for like any. And I think people just get spooned with pets on day one. Like it happens. We saw it with Nex. We saw it with TOA. Like Skate got the TOA pet really early on. You know, Kyle got the Nex pet. People get like Temporos pets, the PNM transmogs. Like people got pretty spooned quite a bit. So I don't know. I think we're just seeing a small sample size and being like, drop table broken. But I would think if it's close to Zalra as far as uniques goes.
Yeah, because Zalra is like 1 in well, I don't know, 1 in 250 something, right?
I think it's 1 in 128 for any of like the 4 major uniques. So like both Fangs, Serp, and Onyx. It's roughly 1 in 128.
Which is not bad. But
yeah.
Yeah, the Venenator shards, last I saw, were going for like 7 to 9 mil. So that puts the bow somewhere between 30 to 50 mil, I think, which is it's decent, but that's pretty cheap for a brand new item. I heard that the first one that was really bought, that was publicized, was like 600 mil, which is insane that somebody would pay that.
But I mean, solo repeatable boss, everyone had to know it wasn't going to hold that value forever.
Yeah.
And I think, frankly, it's going to go down. There actually are a lot of positives that are coming from Muspah, or whatever this boss's name is.
Muspah.
Moose. There's a lot of good things that are coming from it, but I'm just curious to hear more of your thoughts on the actual encounter itself.
Okay, yeah. So there's a lot of mechanics that frustrate me, and that's just because I feel like I may have a lower patience for PVM as of right now.
Yeah. Shaking my head yes for that one. Yep.
My patience for PVM is very low, and I'm not to the point where I'm doing multiple kills in one trip. So then it's been pretty discouraging to go through a kill and then all of my food is gone. So then I got a 6.5 minute kill, and now I have to go back and bank, do it again. So it's been very slow. The gear, I don't know if it's just the gear that I'm wearing. I'm bringing a loaned T-bow with Blessed D-hide because I can't afford like Armadillo or Missouri. So that may be what it is. It's just like I don't have the DPS for it. Even though I'm using a T-bow, it's not hitting like it should. The mechanics are, on one hand, they're really decent. And on the other hand, they're frustrating. There's been this thing where bosses in this game are, you just pray against it. You're done. Like, you pray melee, it can't hit you. What they're doing now with more recent bosses, it's like they're adding chip damage. And they're adding mechanics where even if you are praying melee, it can like crawl up to you and hit a 30. So it's like you're kind of, screwed if you do, screwed if you don't. And to me, that doesn't seem, I don't know. That's the frustrating part for me initially with my 6KC is you have to kite it around the room or freeze it. But even if you are praying melee, it's hitting you. But on the other hand, if you pray range and mage, it doesn't hit you. So it's just confusing why they kind of went that route. I don't know if you have any specific thoughts, but I think, like I said, one hand, the mechanics are nice, but on the other hand, they're very frustrating.
Okay. I encourage you to just do it more because the gear is not your problem. It is, number one, the patience. And number two, I've not watched you do a kill, but if I were a betting man, given your description with a super weapon in your hand, number one, your main account, start bringing dragon arrows. No more amethyst for you, Michael. Start bringing dragon arrows.
I was bringing dragon.
The first couple kills, you're like, is amethyst not good? We're like, Michael,
no,
please.
I switched. I didn't have any dragon in my bank. This was why I was using amethyst.
But you got a cash stack, brother. So dragon arrows, and then probably just have to improve supply management. Sometimes T-bow doesn't hit. I took Submediate a couple days ago, and then I took quote unquote Trillo. He asked me to tag along for the last couple kills so he can get his like frozen key piece in his diary. Sometimes Submediate just called me out in the recording booth checks. He hates being mentioned. Hi, buddy.
Hi, Submediate.
Sometimes T-bow doesn't hit, and like both Trillo and Submediate took more than one kill from me on the Sarah trip. Like, we're just in a duo. It wasn't like a couple of them, like, yeah, I'll give you the kill so you can get your key piece or whatever. But the longer they were there, the more likely they were to, like, actually get kills. And it was kind of funny because they're like, oh my God, I'm sorry. I don't mean to, like, take your Slayer task kills. I'm like, no, trust me. I'm not worried about it. The next kill, I think I opened up with, like, a max hit of an 84, followed by, like, a 73. Another mutated Bloodveld, Michael. We're popping off. So sometimes the T-bow just doesn't hit, and then sometimes it does, and it's comically fast. Yeah, Trillo just said sometimes 85, sometimes 0. I think more patience with the kills. I think better supply management, because if you're getting hit a 20, you're probably panic brewing, and if you panic brew, you're not range potted, and if you panic brew, you're not in a comfortable position to be like, the boss can't hit me for 40 HP. The boss, if I'm on the correct prayer, the boss is not going to hit me for a 40, right? So if you brew and you're above their max hit through prayer, that just takes a little bit of time, and it takes, it nerfs your stats or whatever with brews specifically, or ancient brews, Sayer brews, whatever you're using, right? Better supply management, more confidence. Watch other people do some kills, figure out what they do. I imagine you're doing like T-bow only with a crossbow switch for smite phase. So just watch other people. The method doesn't change when you switch to Bofa. It's the exact same thing. People have been doing Bofa only since it came out, and Bofa only works fine, which is a thing I will talk about that I kind of like. I don't know. I would think for you just need to do it more.
Right.
Like I told you, Michael, you're going to do it. You're going to struggle and you're going to get frustrated and you weren't going to want to do it. Now's the time to do it more. The Xpwaste just couldn't at you because my dumb ass said at him on the night of the quest, the day the episode came out a day later, because it was we were recording days in advance. Like, as I was editing, I'm like, man, I'm stupid. Which also, complete tangent. If you heard a ringing or like a whirring in last week's episode from my microphone, I left my noise machine on. So the nighttime cricket sound effect was in the background. So you guys weren't going crazy. Because I actually did have a couple of people be like, dude, your mic sounded so weird. Like, I thought my car speaker was going out. It's not your car. It's not your headphones. My mic, I left the noise machine on. And I picked it up in the first couple of seconds. And I DM Michael and I went, motherfucker, I left it on. So apologies for that, but
Yeah.
I think it's another boss that, like, quote unquote, suffers from the max gear problem, but I don't think that's anything we're ever gonna see change. Like, the people who have everything are always going to do the best when new content comes out. That's not Jagex's fault that they have grinded out that content to get those
Right.
items. So I guess, well, I wouldn't call it a problem. I understand how it can be demotivating, you know? If you're
Right.
BOFA only and your PB is like 330, 315, and all your friends are T-Bow Shadow 8-way switches and their PB's a minute 30, you know, if they have ZCB for Smite Phase, like, it is a little demotivating, but that's going to happen everywhere. And when you get that kind of gear, you're going to have that kind of PB too. My first Zulrah kill was a 5.5 minute kill. Now my PB is like 58, I think. 57? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's faster. So I guess what I like about the boss's mechanics, Smite Phase is really cool. I like that they kind of added Sapphire Bolts as like, oh, people kind of need these now, which is cool.
Yeah.
That's just a neat little thing. And then I think the smite flicking is going to be really good to teach people how to flick overheads in a relatively risk-free situation. You know, we used to just have God Wars minions, but now we have this boss, which I believe is also 5-tick, just like a crossbow. So you can off-tick them pretty well, where you can range pray, or you can mage smite range, because when you mage, it like attacks. It doesn't attack faster, but the timer for the next attack counts down as it does the animation, you know, like thing it does, you know.
Yeah.
That's when
Yeah.
the timer for the next attack starts. That's why it feels like range attacks come so much quicker after mage, but it's the same 5 ticks.
Gotcha.
It
did feel like it was quicker. I'm like, why is it? Why the
yeah,
range is like,
but like
instantly?
The like fire takes 3 ticks, so it feels like
See.
there's not as much time. But it's the same amount of time, so you can flick it just as well. So I think that's gonna be cool for people to practice. I don't mind the environmental hazards. I don't mind the spikes. If you have a good grasp on pathing, you can get around them pretty easily. They work just like any other, you know, tornado, Flores, lava thing that we've seen in the game, which is pretty cool. You can true tile over them if you absolutely have to. So that's cool. I like the shockwave where you have to hide behind things. I wish I was better at the shockwave, because the amount of times I've died being like on a corner of something, like, oh yeah, I'm totally safe, and then just get rinsed for like an 80. Like, that's not cool. But I think that part is fairly enjoyable. The melee phase is ridiculously tanky. Not like Wilderness Boss tanky. But there was, when I first started, it was like my second kill, they're like, oh, just don't freeze, do BOFA only. And I think I shot the boss 28 times and still didn't hit anything on melee phase. So I was like, yep, I'm just going to teleport out.
That's crazy.
Because this isn't good.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think switching between phases is fine. I don't love melee phase, but some people who are doing like crossbow kills are proccing rubies and then proccing rubies again, and they're just skipping phases entirely.
Oh wow.
Which is super cool, because you can do damage and it will just roll from one phase to another, kind of like how Zulrah transitions. Like, if you get a big XP drop as Zulrah is going into the water, it'll pop up and it'll have a damage splat. So that kind of happens with the phase transitions. I mean, overall, I think it's very good for where it sits and where it's supposed to be, which is right around Zulrah Vorkath. A lot of people have been saying like, oh, this is a new mid-game boss. It absolutely is not.
Right.
It absolutely is not a mid-game boss. I don't know where y'all are getting that from.
A mid-game boss, like on the same level as Barrows, Sarachnis, Mole, that kind of stuff?
It is absolutely not a mid-game boss.
No.
If it was supposed to be a mid-game boss, the 100% it was not. I cannot think of a single quest boss that is repeatable that is considered to be mid-game. Rather, repeatable quest boss from a master or grandmaster quest.
Right.
Or that is locked behind one. So I think it fits early late game really well. I think eventually people are going to be excited when they get their first Muspah kills, People are going to be excited to grind it because it is a good source of money. We'll talk about the drop table here in a second. So I like where it sits. I think so far it's exactly what I wanted. A new solo boss encounter. The pet is ugly as shit, and I want it because it is so horrible that I want the pet. It's ugly as sin. You cannot deny that it is a horrible looking monster. So I'm excited to like hunt that little pet and do all that.
I saw the green phase one and it looks decent. I thought it was going to be super ugly, but my biggest like quarrel with any sort of pet that they have released is if it's tiny, I don't want it. I want that guy to be chunky and large and following you like a monstrosity.
You like the stompers, don't you? You like the.
No, I don't have game sounds on, so I don't listen to them.
Oh
but like
God.
How they made the the TOA boss, it's like a tall, lanky, like humanoid, but it comes up to your character, like it comes up to your character's waist. Like it's not a tiny little thing that's just following you. My example would be like Kraken. Kraken is too small for like for how big the boss is. And I don't know if that's just game limitations as far as like tiles, but we have things like the Bloodhound pet is ginormous. And it's because it's an actual dog and dogs are huge. So they missed the mark on some of them, but it's decently big, so it would rank high in my book. Even though it is very ugly.
Yeah,
I
love it.
Pretty to look at.
It is so well designed. They did such a good job of making it look so bad. And I truly don't like. I think it's supposed to look horrible. Like it's supposed to look like an ugly monstrosity. I don't think like I'm not saying their design choices were bad. I think they were good.
No,
if unless they were like, man, this is gonna be the cutest boss in the world, and then like Jerv and Soften were like, we're gonna make this ugly slug thing. It's the SpongeBob meme where Squidward runs the Krusty Krab and Mr. Krabs breaks out with Patrick and goes, "Run for your lives! It's the appetizer." That's what Muspah reminds me of. Is that right there? This big ugly conglomerate slug. So it looks cool. Sits really well. I thought the quest was perfectly fine to do. I don't know how anyone would have gotten blood from that one quest or the puzzle with the 5 letters. I don't know how anyone would have gotten blood out of that. I was struggling to do it with no guide.
I used the wiki. I was like, I'm not.
I raw dogged it for a little while before I had to go to work, and then I was like, damn, this puzzle got hands. So I just went to the wiki when I was at work and solved it there. I don't know how you would have gotten blood, but the quest was good. Set up some cool stuff. They added some new areas to the game. Boss is mechanically a lot of fun. Drop table is drop table is something.
Where
drop
this
table
conversation should settle is the drop table.
I am fairly surprised at the drop table, and then I'm fairly surprised at the changes they made to the drop table. Like, so if you've not killed Muspah yet, some of the common drops include rune kite shields, cannonballs, rune ore, herb seeds, tree seeds, and then most importantly, I mean, in addition to like dragon bolts and things like that, some runes. The essence itself stacks up pretty well, and then most importantly, it drops dragon plate skirts and dragon plate legs. But it will drop plate legs 3 at a time. So
it's insane.
Why that is crazy is because plate legs will never go below their alchemy value.
Yeah.
There's a reason they're called alchables, because they're never, like, runite is never going to drop below 38k for plate legs or 32k for kite shields. They might fluctuate a couple GP here and there. Like, there are some days you might make a little bit more money alching, but it's like 500 GP max, maybe 1,000. Yeah. But they're never going to plummet. So dragon plate legs are the most stable item on the drop table because they're currently selling for 160k. They're currently alching for 162k. So like that's good. They made changes to the drop table like we knew they were going to, but they reduced the seeds and the herbs, which I was really shocked at because the seeds and the herbs are gonna rebound. Someone was telling me Torstal seeds are in the bin, which like makes sense because TOA destroyed Torstal seeds and then Muspah made them even worse. which sucks, kind of. But eventually they'll balance out because people are going to use them. And they only nerfed it like tree seeds went from like 3 to 2. Herb seeds, the biggest one was Raynar's, went from 12 to 10. If you get the rare drop for Raynar seeds. I'm very surprised they didn't drop more of the alchable stuff, or they didn't nerf it.
It should have gone from 3 plate legs to like 1, maybe 2 if you're lucky. And because right now there's people walking away with like close to $1 million per kill.
You know, frankly,
with the essence.
I'm not mad about that, because a lot of what is on this drop table is so expendable and is going to stay stable for a while. Runes are not going to fluctuate so much. Like law runes are never going to be single digit GP.
Right.
Or double digit GP. They're cheap, obviously, but they're never going to be super cheap. Chaos runes are never going to be single digit GP. Herbs are never going to be, you know, especially when you're talking like snapdragons and canadines and things like that. Like, not canadines. Does it drop Raynars? Drops toadflax. Toadflax are all right. But like, I don't know. All these things are so used and they're so common, or they hold their value through alch price, that I don't know. I think what's going to decrease in price is essence, which unfortunately is going to determine the price of the imbued heart, which we did talk about last week.
Yeah.
But they've created a failsafe, and I really got to commend them. So I'll go into my tinfoil hat theory about drop tables here in a second, but I really got to give props to them for this. Making the imbued heart upgrade out of essence was a weird decision, especially because you need so much, right? You can disassemble Venator shards with a mortar and pestle to get a couple thousand ancient essence back.
Mm-hmm.
And the Venator shards have a high alch value of 1.8 mil. So while there may be 9 or 7 mil now, they're never going to fall below 1.8 mil. So that means the Venator bow itself is always going to be around 10 mil at the very minimum. Might drop to 8 at like the absolute worst of times.
Yeah.
Right. But if I were a betting man, it's going to stick around 8 to 10 mil at its absolute bottom peak, because that's what the shards alch for.
Yeah.
Just like we see with Magic Fangs and Tan's Fangs and Serp Visages and the price of Zulrah scales, right? The essence is going to be tied to the Venator shard, and the essence with that 1.8 mil alch value is going to make it so that like Muft is going to be one of the best money makers in the game, or at least one of the most consistent for a long time. Unless in the next week, we're recording on Sunday evening like we always do. If in the next week they nerf the dog shit out of the table again because they're like, oh, this is too much, that sucks. Maybe stop doing this, Jagex. But as far as uniques are concerned, they're never gonna be garbage. This boss is never gonna be dead content. It's always gonna make you a little bit of money. Some of the items it drops might be dead content. You might already have an imbued heart. You might have a Kodai, or a nightmare staff or something where you don't need the ancient icon. Mm-hmm. And you may literally never use the Venator bow, but it's still gonna be good money. Just like Vorkath and Zulrah's uniques. I don't need a new trident. I don't need a new anything from Zulrah, but the money's nice, right?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking it's going to stabilize around there, which is really cool. It was a little spooky at first, but it's really cool. And they didn't nerf like dragon fruit tree seed drops either, which I'm surprised about as well. So you ready for me to get into this like tinfoil hat theory?
Yes, go for it.
Jagex?
I'll put mine on.
Perfect. So let's look at the last year of content releases, right? We got Nex in early 22, correct? We got Nex then? Nex's drop tables were off the chain. So much so that they had to say, well, we have to nerf the drop tables a little bit, right? Temporos came out and it wasn't the best, and they actually had to adjust it to be a little bit better because people with like 90 fishing were still getting like raw salmon, and they're like, all right, we got to change this a little bit, which was good. Tombs of a Masket comes out. Tombs of a Masket's drop rate is off the chain. We are eating, and we are eating good. Then they nerf it. Thanks, Jagex. Awesome. Muspah comes out. Drops are, again, insane. And they nerf it a little bit with almost certainly another adjustment on the way, right? Do we really think that JMods, who are not only experienced in making bosses, but also play the fucking game, are like, oh yeah, this drop table is totally fine. I don't see any problem with a potential 6 dragon plate legs in one drop. There's no way they look at that and think to themselves, damn, that's kind of a cracked drop, right? They know what they are doing is extreme with these drop tables. So I contend that they make a boosted drop table for the first week or a couple of days a boss comes out, and then they nerf it afterwards, and everyone gets so mad, and they're like, oh, Jagex, how could you do this? But this boosted drop table brought so many people back to the game for the new boss and the new content that they got paid. And then they release the actual drop table it under the guise of a nerf to the drop table, right? Because I am sorry, there is no way that people who play this game, look at players like Arcane, look at players like Husky, look at Soften, look at Jerv, people, they play the game. It's not, they don't just work there, right? They enjoy it. So there's no way they didn't think that this was going to be wild. I think they have a fake boosted drop table to build up hype, and then they release the real drop table once the dust has settled a little bit. And they're like, this is what the boss per hour is actually meant to be. That's my crazy theory.
I still have my tinfoil hat on, and I think I kind of agree in the sense that's like it happens too often to ignore. You know, like it's kind of a meme in the community now where it's like, when's the nerf? When's the drop table nerf? Ever since they nerfed Zulrah, like every boss that they've put out, they've had to adjust something. Instead of sitting in a meeting saying, let's run it through some simulators, because there's no way they don't have that. Or they don't have people QAing it. Like, you were able to get 50 KC in the first day. It doesn't seem unreasonable that over the past couple weeks, they've had people do like multiple hundreds of kills to test this boss out. So it's like, you're looking at the drop table that they've set for it. They have loot tracker, they have rune light, they have all of this stuff to see, man, I did 50 kills and I've made 10 mil. That seems a bit off. Or they want it like that, like you're saying. Or that's to get people to actually do it. And then they're kind of dealing with the consequences of pulling the rug, saying, sorry, not anymore. Should have done it while it was good.
Yeah, and I mean, I think Zulrah got nerfed. Muspah is almost certainly going to get nerfed. Vorkath actually had its drop table buffed.
Whoa.
Because within the first, so it came out on January 4th of 2018, and they had to increase the hit points from 640 to 1,000. Then the next day, they changed the hit points from 1,000 to 750. And then they've changed some like mechanics here and there. And then a couple days later, for the next game update, it looks like they improved the standard drops by just doubling how the loot. Like, you know how we get 2 drops at Vorkath? That wasn't a thing that happened when it first came out. They doubled that intentionally. So, but in November of 2018, they removed the 10 to 30 crushed nests. That's the only thing they took off the drop table of Vorkath. So they actually improved Vorkath when it came out. I'm actually interested. I want to see if we can look at Hydra and see if Hydra had its table changed at all. Let's go down to trivia here. Let's see. Jar of Chemicals, Hydra Head. So they added a couple of drops shortly afterwards. But it's the jar and the head.
Okay.
Yeah, so they never changed Hydra's drop table. Hydra is the only really good moneymaker in the game that is consistent, that is not a raid, that they have said, no, we are content with this. And I think that's because of the Slayer requirement, which I'm happy with.
Yeah, that's great.
Frankly, I'm not going to be upset if they keep it at this level. I'm really not.
Right. It's a lot more money than doing raids, I would assume.
No.
Really?
No.
5 to 6. I've heard like between 4 and 6 mil an hour with really good gear.
Shadow of Temekin. 1.4 bill. What's 1.4 bill divided by 8? 1.4. Let me do some quick maths here, boys. It's our favorite kind. Math. My calculator takes 1,000 years to load every single time. 1.412. So it's 1,400 million billion. What's 1.4 billion divided by 8?
It's 175 mil.
It's a cool 175 mil a person for 30 minutes worth of work. No individual boss is ever going to be better than raids unless they drop something that outvalues everything in raids. So raids and like Nightmare are always going to be the best money in the game. Hydra would be up there a little bit more. Hydra would be up there a little bit more if the claw was more expensive. Which, by the way, claws are really cheap. If you don't have one, go buy one.
They're very cheap?
They're like 36 mil.
Dragon claws?
No, Hydra claw.
Oh, Hydra claw.
No.
I was
daydreaming
about Dragon claws.
Of course you were. No. I think if you take uniques off the raid tables, they might be a little bit less. Maybe not Tob. Maybe though, because if right now, I mean, for right now, anyways, with uniques off the table, Muspah might be comparable to Tob with no uniques. Because Vials of Blood are really expensive.
Right.
But with uniques, Rage just taken home. Even bad uniques outweigh money per hour at most bosses.
I think the difference though is like you can do Muspah for an hour, get your 5 mil, and if that's all you needed, great. But if you do an hour of raids, that's roughly 2, maybe 3, like 3, 2 if you're good. You may not even make that. You may make like 1.5 mil and just drops. You have to like it's money over time versus money up front, I think is the difference. Yes, you could get really lucky on your first raid of the day, get an 8-way shadow split. You're cheering. You made 175 mil. But then you also could go 6 raids try, 7 raids try, and that's a couple hours. And then you haven't made the 5 to 6 mil yet.
Oh, trust me, I'm very dry on raids. So, I know all about that.
Yeah, so that's the difference, I think.
God, we have been in a horrible slump at raids, trying to see purples. The boys have been seeing purples without me there, but like me personally, I think the only purple I've seen, at least since the start of 2021, M got a light bearer on her iron, and light bearers are FFA anyway. And that's like, I'm pretty certain that's the only purple I've seen. Unless Fear, you have in the recording booth chat, Fear might know of another one. Unless you count my holy kit. There's no way Angel just got evil chicken feet. That's nutty. Wow. This man is so ridiculously unhinged. Spooned on the weirdest of items. That's so cool.
Yeah. Did we talk about that last episode? Angel de la Gente? Not really Angel. His name's De La Gente in the clan, if you're in TNL. Got third age last week. I don't know if it was during the recording, but yeah.
It certainly was not.
It's insane. Yeah. It's like the first third age we've seen in the little clan notification, other than like a third age ring, because I think Scape got one of those.
We saw third age in Springo last year.
Gotcha.
Which, to build off of that point, it's unrelated to the podcast at all, but Dean said you got body. He means I got a Missouri body. I got that bitch in October, Dean. I got that in an 8-man on 128 regular KC. You know, it's been a hot minute. We've not been seeing too many purples, so I get that. I really do. It could be. It's probably better money for me to go to Muspah, but overall, I enjoy the boss.
Yeah, it's a great boss. I say that.
I was gonna say, what do you?
It mean? Will be a great boss for me.
You just said you didn't like it.
No, it's great for other people. How about that? I'm so happy seeing people like with the gear that they have, being able to really grind this boss for the money. Multiple people in our clan have green logged it already. Multiple really low KC pets. It's been a fun week to see everybody so excited about it.
Yeah, and
I just have other goals, other things I want to do in the game to sit there and 6.5, 8-minute kills. Oh.
I mean, they're not going to be 8 minutes. You just Michael got an 8-minute kill with a T-Bow at Muspah. And then it's like, this is stupid. I'm done. And we all said, no, the boss has been out for 8 hours. Go back and do it again. And the next kill was like a 401, which is pretty in line with average don't know how to do the boss time with a T-Bow, right? If you had Bofa's pretty average, but like Tebow just hits. Tebow hits hard. You shaved the time in half because you got a little bit more confident with the boss. Just do the boss, and it's not going to be a 6 to 8 minute slog. Just do the boss, Michael. You're eventually gonna be like, all right, this isn't horrible. I don't know. It also Jagex did a great job of putting the fail safes in for the drops and things. That kind of made my like piss baby rant about low level players doing content not nearly as valid now, because everyone is still making some money there because they put dragon alkables and a 1.8 mil alk value on the most expensive unique it has. So, hooray, like consistent money for everywhere. Let's do that for every boss in the game, Jagex.
Yeah.
Let's do that everywhere.
I definitely agree with you. Like, the failsafe was well thought out. They could have put a 200k alk value on it, like they've been doing with a lot of new items, like very, very low and
like Fang Alks for 600k,
odd.
Scythe Alks for 2.4 mil, Hammer Dragon Warhammer Alks for 144k, Claws Alk for 246k, Dragon Hunter Lance is 180k Alk.
It's just weird.
Yeah,
like you would think a Fang would at least have like a 10 mil, like at least a 10 mil alk value. Or something.
You would think in order to maintain some of these prices, but nope.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
New boss good. New boss good.
Is that the place we're calling it? I think.
Yeah, look at that. We're going to break with less than an hour on our recording track. This is a new record for us, boys.
New record.
Yeah.
We'll have more to say as the weeks go on, I think, with content that's coming out. But you guys don't want to hear us rant about the same boss.
We're both tired and both not feeling a bajillion % perfect.
Right.
And I think a break's fantastic. I love that plan.
All right, guys. Stick around. After the break, we'll get in some fun content. Guaranteed. See you then.
Good evening, adventurer. You come here seeking knowledge and power, no? Then perhaps you're brave enough to enter my evil lair. For those of you... David, honey, who you talking to down there? What? No, Mom, I'm trying to shoot a movie. Oh, okay, honey, have fun. Now, where were we? For those of you who dare enter this hell, you may find the power you seek. But of course, such power comes at a price. You must... David, honey, what do you want for dinner? I got leftover lasagna or dinosaur chicken nuggets? Dinosaur chicken nuggets, please. Thank you. You're welcome, sweetheart. Okay, evil. I am evil. Okay, we can do this. To obtain that which you desire, you must take the life of another. But you adventurers are all the same, and your bloodlust is rarely sated after just one. However, there is not reward without risk. You must... David, honey! Oh, I swear to Zamarok. What, Mom? Would you like ranch or honey mustard with your nuggets? Do we have any hot sauce? Yeah, I got hot sauce. You want hot sauce? Yes, please. Thank you, Mom. Of course, dear. Okay, let's just get this over with. However, there is no reward without risk. For you must endanger the life of your closest companion in order to fulfill your desires for knowledge and power. If this is a chance you're willing to take, then I invite all of you to venture to my corner of hell, if you dare. David, honey, if you're gonna have friends over, I'm gonna need to make more chicken nuggets. Mom!
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that commercial break because I know that I sure did. It's that time of the episode again where we shout out our patrons. Now that we don't have Anchor as a sponsor, these episodes are kind of sponsored by Patreon. So thank you, everyone. We appreciate you for all of the support. Each week we shout out folks in our tiers of Wise Old Man and KBD. We're going to start out with the Wise Old Man tier. Thank you so much to a guy named Sparry, Escape Caution, Ambu to Plug, Andrew, Elagio, Armadillo, Ballimer, Basket, Pork Jerry, Both of These Nuts, Bradley B, Bronzione, Buzz SS, Casper, Chris, Hadad Bod, Christian V, Cole, C. Gladney, Connor M, Creamed Ham, D4 Drake, Daniel K, Dean R, Dean 709, Drum TXT, Duke Bradley, DWZK, D Falconer, Farmer Isaac, Fortimus, Francine 1225, Who Farted, I'm a Great Guy, Fear, Jack M, Jake aka Deathbeds, Jake W, Jerry, John Pounder, John S, Joan K, Kevin B, Chaos Bane, So Close, Kyle, Potato Pancake, Posh Padre, Mag Morpheus, Miyamo Poppy, Mig Roll, Mike Oxmall, Mima, Moist Sean, Born from the Mud, Nasty MFer, Nick My Neck, 999, 999, Ninja Turtle Ruby, Obsidian Paladin, Old Mate Deal, Old Nikya, Okami Damashi, Ice, Purple Knight, Are You Swole, Wallow, Real Crazy, Reclinatus, Root Tiggert 35, Russ of Fury, Salted Snail, Soggy Waffles, Shadow, Skalaxin, Sholdveg, Slay Oxus, Solaire OS, Swain RS, Taco Ninja, Tankneek, The Chungaroo, The Rep Dog, THG Bang, Thormac, Tiger Guy, Troll, Two Tick, The T-Pace Tyler, Underwear, Valdon, and Weird Panda 1. Thank you, everybody in the Wise Old Man tier once again. We sincerely appreciate you for your support. Moving on to the KBD tier. Big thank you and much love to Bloodman, aka Young Kyle, Brokes 70, Oxie's dad, my dad, everybody's dad. Hey, Dad. Cloud Kicker, Dicky Bird, Evasive Ebu, GIM Stones, Imby Jones, the Lord Jake himself, Mark, aka I Steam, Rylithian, Satanbot 666, Seth Shep, Skooma 92, Spartan Fire, the Big G Jordy, the Crayola Crayon, and Toast No Toast. Again, thank you so much to everybody in the KBD tier. You guys are amazing. So cool. If you guys want to support us, you can do so over at patreon.com/Xpwaste. We have many different tiers ranging from $1 all the way up to $25 and various perks that come with it. If you want to hear Oxie and I's voice more than you do, you can subscribe at Party Pete or higher and you get an extra episode each month. If it comes out in that month, that is yet to be determined, but you will get an extra episode guaranteed. If you want to subscribe again, go to patreon.com/XPWaste. Now, it is the second segment that I normally do on the show. It's called the community question. Last week, we asked you guys, did you enjoy the new quest? We talked about it a lot. Now we want to know what you thought. So, starting out with Dudeheim. There's a new quest. I'm still catching up my stats. Edit. I just did it today. I don't know what I was worrying about, but it was super fun and almost gave me the confidence to do TOA. What a legend. Mima says, new quest okay, too many puzzles. Barkeeper gave me a laugh. No mining XP reward. Muffin, maggot, go burr. No mining XP. Big sad. Moist Sean said, I'll just pretend that I'm good at RuneScape and my account is capable of doing this quest, but I wouldn't know. I don't have the requirements. Moist Sean, I believe in you. Sebastian says, homies, your audio sounds a little funky. Sebastian,
Listen,
we know.
man. That
We
ain't an
know.
answer to the question, okay? Listen, man.
All feedback can be sent via email, xpwastepod@gmail.com, or hit
But
us
also,
up on Discord.
God, it was so bad last week. I do apologize again because it was just so bad.
It shouldn't be like that. Well, I
Normally
can't say that
it's
because
not.
like we already addressed it in the recording booth chat before, but did we do it in the episode?
I think it was in the episode. I think.
Okay. We just said it. Maybe it was like an hour ago. But anyway, Oxie's sound machine was turned on. Jake AIC STP, aka Deathbeds, says solid quest, buffed XP rewards are absolutely mint. K Black says, I haven't done it and I refuse. I'm boycotting new quests since Jagex stripped me of my newly achieved quest cape. Mate, I hate to tell you, it's gonna
Sounds
happen
like-
every time.
Sounds like no quest caper talk right there. Go get your quest cape back. Enough of
Quest
that.
cape back. Yeah. Real Crazy says, I loved it. This is the first time I've done a master quest on day of release without a guide, except for boss mechanics. And figuring out the puzzle room that took me hours to understand felt amazing. That's great. If there wasn't so much pressure for me to like get to the boss and start killing it because Oxy was going to have people ask me about it, I probably would have just taken my time and did it without the guide. But it was still a great quest. I read all of it. Love the lore. I'm very excited for Desert Treasure 2.
Yeah, it's gonna be big.
Michael H says, cliffhanger at the end was a little anticlimactic, but I did enjoy the quest. Who is the mystery assassin? We'll find out, Michael. We shall find out. Nathan G says, it would have been nice to have a quick summary of the storyline previously, but it has been a while since I've done the previous quests. But it was cool. Glad Weiss got a little loving expansion. That is nice. I didn't really think Weiss is kind of dead content unless you're mining the basalt and you're doing your herb runs, but it is cool that now it has some use, and it will from future quests. James says, I got really into the lore on this one. Actually excited to find out more about the story. Chris J says, haven't gotten the requirements to do it yet, but as someone going for 99 farming, I'm very much enjoying the influx of seeds on the GE. Hell yeah. You're benefiting, just not from actually doing the quest. Scotty says, loved the new quest. Felt like a master quest. Jagex did an incredible job introducing the new boss, and I can't wait for the Marguerite storyline to continue. Same. That was everybody on Spotify. Now, moving over to our YouTube replies. Sloppy Elmo says, I did enjoy the quest. As a player that just learned Zulrah and has gotten their first few Corrupted Gauntlet kills, I can appreciate this new boss that's similar in skill level. Any content that ultimately makes an individual a better player, which I believe is the case with both Zulrah and CG, is going to go down as good content in my book. Very well put, Sloppy Elmo. Thank you so much. Ortimus says, sure did. The lore is building up quite well and shaping up to be an awesome conclusion in DT2. Also enjoyed the new mechanics in the boss fight and the soul split bait for a new prayer book. User007 says, the new quest was really well done. Enjoyed the lore building and how they are diverging from the RS3 storyline. As for the last week's fun question, how could you forget my boy, the Drunken Dwarf? A free beer and kebab? It doesn't get much better than that. That is actually
the
something
kebab makes you sick. No
I did
thanks.
not.
Tom.
I did not consider that. That is it for the community question. Thank you guys for answering over on Spotify and on YouTube. If you want to answer this week's question, it will be, how are you feeling about the new drop table, and do you think it'll get nerfed? So that's a good one. You can answer that over on the community question section on Spotify or the pinned comment of this YouTube video. Oxy, I do believe it is your turn, sir.
I do believe it is my turn as well. Hold on, wait for it. I'm really bright now on YouTube. Washed out like a ghost. It's time for Achievement of the Week. And to start things off, I mean, he didn't talk about it on the show, but Michael got ranked in a couple new bosses. So proud of him for doing PVM content. We love to see it. But I guess with that we'll start off with combat. This week is heartbreaking for Achievement of the Week. I am very sad to report for the first time since we have begun Achievement of the Week, there have been no first fire capes this week.
Oh,
no
really?
First fire capes. I can go through and double check to make sure, but I am fairly certain after having looked through our channel multiple times, no first fire capes this week, which is okay, but like, man, always sad to see no fire capes. I say always as if we've never had one. Okay, hold on, shut up. 13 minutes ago, Soul got his first fire cape. I'm not kidding. This guy showed up. He got the brand new thing. First post, he showed up like a couple days ago. He showed up 3 days ago. His first post, he literally just got his first fire cape not 15 minutes ago. So we got it after I made this. The week has been salvaged, folks. And we continue Achievement of the Week just as strong as we normally would. Soul, congratulations on your first fire cape, my friend. Let's see. What else do we have here? We have a lot of other firsts. So Torrid got their first Gauntlet KC. D-Mats got their first Zulrah KC, which was a fantastic screenshot. They're like, oh, check out this bitchin' Zulrah PB. And it was the Zulrah Scale Collection pop-up and a completely empty inventory, meaning they used every piece of food and prayer they brought with them. Everything got used, but they got the kill. WV Mountain Man, West Virginia, just Mountain Man, that's what we call him. He got his first Zulrah KC as well. Splasher got their first Zulrah KC. Big week for Zulrah. And Halves 31 got their first Corrupted Gauntlet KC. In the Elite Combat Achievements category, Mailed, whose name I still don't think I'm pronouncing properly, got the Easy Combat Diary done. Congratulations to you. And good friend of the clan, Kira, finally got her Elite Combat Achievements done. I don't mean finally as in she was working on them forever. I mean, she was just like, I CBA. And now she just did them. So she can, continue to go back and be the god tier PVMer, just with a fancy Slayer helm now. Rounding out the combat end, we have Prof Slayer, Skeevy, who DM'd me actually about it. He was so excited to DM me personally. He received his first Infernal Cape this week. Congratulations to you, Prof Slayer.
Done.
Big stuff on the groupie, no less. First Infernal Cape on the groupie. So huge congratulations. You can go back to enjoying RuneScape now. Very proud of you, my friend.
I think that's the first group Iron Man Infernal Cape that I've seen personally. I know it's not the first ever, but I think that's the first one I've seen personally. It's really cool.
I have to agree. Yeah, first we've seen in the Discord for sure. I think, right?
Maybe,
but either way, it doesn't matter. It's huge. Congratulations, right?
Yes.
Moving over to the skilling category, as always, skilling is the thickest of the bunch. Cole got 99 mining. M. Scade, who not only green-logged the new boss in 8 kills, also got 99 hit points this week. Fizzle got 99 range, her first combat 99. Log Dog, he got 99 wood cutting. Bryce got 99 hit points. Jake AIC STP, that dirty bastard, got 99 fletching because after he told me he wanted to race to 2100, he bought every single buyable skill to 99. So he told me he was doing mining, and he is correct, but he was also training fletching on the side. So he got 99 fletching at Motherlode Mine accidentally, and I am getting my ass kicked in our total level competition. Planker got 99 smithing. Silky got 99 wood cutting and 99 fire making. We love the good double 99 party. He cut the tree and then lit it on fire and got the double 99.
Hell yeah.
Which is a lot of fun. Jake AIC STP just said he made a profit making arrows, so he can't be mad. I wouldn't be mad either, King. Congratulations.
Dragon arrows, nonetheless.
You're making dragon arrows? Jesus, you got the money. Good lord. We got some total level achievements. Miyamo Poppy got 2K total, as did our boy Leo Nasty 623, which we've known Leo for a really, 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 really long time.
Yeah.
Leo didn't have Barrow's gloves for the longest time, and he used a combat bracelet unironically.
Yeah.
but he was doing high level content on mobile. He would do chambers on mobile with like a combat bracelet and just like the bare minimum gear. And he's a decent player.
Yeah.
Right? He's a great guy. He could do all the content in the game. He was doing his first Fazani's kill was mobile. And we would always make fun of him because he's like, man, dude, Sarah looks so fun. We're like, Leo, why don't you go? He's like, 53 agility, dog. He's 10,000 collective DKs, Casey. Couldn't get to Sarah for the longest time. But he got 2K total. So, Leo, from myself and all the other old timers in TNL, congratulations on your new total level World's King. But there's one person who has surpassed that this week. Burn This Town, a.k.a. FE Cremator, has achieved 2277 total level and has maxed their account. I believe it's their Iron Man account. I haven't spoken to them too much, but still, congratulations, Max Cape. We have a lot of you can finally play the game this week. It's good. People are finishing big goals and they're enjoying themselves, which means we have to finish out the miscellaneous category. Only one quest cape this week. Psych. Only quest cape. Their name is Psych, not it's SYKE. Only quest cape this week from Psych. Doombar achieved their diary cape. And finishing off achievement of the week. I am going to shout it out because you've heard him be shouted out for milestones before. Mima finally got a black boater from Medium Clues.
Hell yeah.
And at 3,551 KC has completed the Medium Clue log. He's green logged Medium Clues. I want to say there's at least 10, maybe more sets of Ranger boots in there. I don't know the total profit loss for the implings and the boots and all that, but 3,551 got the black boater, completed it. The clan chat went as ballistic for the boater as it did for my Infernal Cape. People were screaming. I interrupted the show because I was so excited. But congratulations, Mima. Now you of all people this week can finally go back to playing the game.
Yeah.
You can go do whatever that isn't Medium Clue Scrolls. So congratulations. That about wraps up Achievement of the Week for this week. If you did something awesome and you want us to shout it out here on the show, head over to our Discord, discord.gg/OSRSTNL. You can post about anything that you do. It doesn't have to be a 99. There's a lot of people who post progress. There's a lot of people who post like when they get base 90s, base 70s, things like that, 1750 total level. A lot of cool stuff people post. If it's an achievement for you, we want to hear about it. There's a lot of other fun stuff in Discord as well, a lot of fun channels, and we hang out all of the time. The VCs are still going up.
Yeah.
People have been talking all weekend long, so if you're looking for a cool place to hang out, come join our Discord. It's awesome. I'm biased. I don't care. It's the best RuneScape Discord out there. Yes, come do that.
Yeah. There's like a group of people that work from home who just hop in Discord and like whether we're talking or not talking, we're just kind of there for each other.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of feels like we're in an office setting, but it's in Discord. So if you work from home and you just want people to talk to during the day, join our Discord, hop in VC. You can stay muted if you'd like. You just want some background noise of people chatting about your favorite game, come on and join us. We'll be there Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 every day. I don't know. Not every day.
We're in all different time zones, so I feel like there's constantly people in voice chat.
Yeah, really
we don't have a lot of Australian representation, so Aussies might not find our clan as active because we're all in bed when they're awake. But American folks, European folks, Africa has the same time zone as Europe, right? It's in the same like verticality. African folks, South American folks, we have those time zones locked down pretty well.
Yeah.
From like California over to like middle of Europe, I think.
Just the world, basically.
Yeah. Well, like we have some Australians, we have some people who are like in India and things like that.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of them. So if you're looking for like a cool Australian Discord community where you can hang out and nothing to do with nationality, 100% to do with time zones.
Time zones. Yep.
Because that's the problem. We can't cater to the Australian time zone very well because we do everything usually based in Eastern Standard or UTC.
We have so many degenerate Europeans who are just on American time zones. Like they're awake when we are, and they're asleep when we are, and it's fantastic.
And we also have some degenerate Americans who are like reverse degenerates, and they're on the European schedules.
That's true.
They're like, all right, guys, it's getting late. I got to go to bed. We're like, it's 7 o'clock. They're like, I got to get up tomorrow, dude. They're up at 4 a.m. doing work.
Yeah.
So they're with the Euro boys on their schedule. But, so we have a pretty decent spread of people. Come hang out. Hopefully you find someone within your time zone. And if not, there's still going to be people there if you ever need to go outside your time zone. Come hang out. We're awesome. Michael, it's got to be fun question time.
Yeah, it is. I thought you said if you need people to go outside it, and in my brain I'm like, go outside? What? I don't need to touch grass today.
I know. I've never heard those words together in the same sentence. Do you, is outside a place you go? I wouldn't know.
Outside? Really? Yeah. Anyway, yes. Discord.gg/OSRSTNL. Link is in the description. It is fun question time, and we have a ripe new postcard from Missouri. From Missouri, Birdlaw says, we need more dinosaur content. Please hurry. It is a matter of life or death. There is no fun question on here, but Birdlaw, we are going to give you dinosaur content because our boy Submediant, shout out to Submediant, the one and only. There's
super
never
mega giga Chad shout out to
there's
the
never
one
been
and
another
only
Submediant in the clan. Shout out to Submediant. We love you. He gave us a question that we really liked. So he says, if you could add a dinosaur boss to Old School RuneScape, what would it be, and what would some of the mechanics be? Oxie, you are a resident dinosaur man. Your name, until today, in Discord, was Dinosaur Man.
Do you know why I changed my name from Dinosaur Man to Oxie with an M?
Because
another guy. So, okay, this is completely tangential. Xpwasters, my in-game name is not Oxie. My private chat is also turned off, so even if you had my in-game name, you wouldn't be able to send me a DM. The guy whose in-game name is Oxie joined the CC and was like, I keep getting messages about people liking my podcast. What is happening? And he joined the CC, joined the Discord, and joined the voice chat. People thought he was trying to make fun of me. And he's like, no, look me up. And I want to unironically buy that name. I want it. If you are listening out there, Oxie, how much? I'm not one to buy bonds for things for in-game GP. I'll consider it. Because I want that name.
Damn.
It's the only name I would ever consider switching to.
Is
just Oxie.
Drop the M.
Consider. I would drop the M. Just consider it. Clan fundraising effort to buy Oxie, RSN Oxie. Perfect. But so yeah, I am the resident dinosaur man. I have a vague concept for a boss. Do you want me to go first? Yeah, I'm the dinosaur.
Maybe I should go first so that when you inevitably show me up, people will keep listening.
I don't think I'm inevitably bound to show you up. Come on now.
Anyway, my idea. So I've been playing Ark Survival Evolved. If you haven't been privy to this game, it is a dinosaur game. I'm one of the best players on the planet. Actually, everybody comes to me for advice. It's really my specialty. So I've been flying around on my wyvern. You can do that. They're not skeletal in this game. They're alive, and they're big dragons. They breathe fire. You can fly around on a wyvern, and there's this thing called an awesome spyglass that lets you see like the outline of all of the animals in the game. So I turn on the awesome spyglass. I'm flying over this massive ocean, and I just see the outline of the biggest shark you've ever seen, ever. Megalodon. And that got me thinking, underwater boss in Old School RuneScape, giant dinosaur shark. You're swimming around. I don't know if you've got like little air pockets that you can swim to give you like time to shoot an arrow or something, but it would be so incredibly scary and also really neat to be like swimming under the water, and you see this little random cave or this alcove, and you swim in there, and there's a megalodon just waiting for you. Am I saying that correctly?
Megalodon? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It's a giant shark. So Tyler in the recording booth says, "What am I listening to right now?" You're listening to the world's best Ark player giving his opinion on an old school RuneScape dinosaur boss. So dinosaurs can be megalodons, and megalodons can be dinosaurs. So you're swimming around, and there's this giant shark, and it's trying to eat you, and you are also trying to kill it for reasons unknown. But it drops its jaw, which you can make into a new hunter trap for bears, and you can kill Callisto in one shot. That's the boss, and that's the drops.
Pointed. Cool.
Yeah,
I like it.
That's my answer. Okay, Oxy, what do you got?
I have Swain with the mind explosion.
Guys, if you're not in the recording booth chat, you need to.
Okay.
I'm just saying, there's 14 of us in here right now.
Elephant or shark in the room, however you want to call it. Megalodons are not dinosaurs. I will give you a pass, but megalodons are not dinosaurs.
They are. They're in Ark.
They're
Everything in
not.
Ark is a dinosaur.
That is.
I'm rolling with it, okay?
Okay. So my idea, you know how I love my phased fights, right?
Mhm.
I like my fights with multiple phases. So I feel like the T-Rex boss would be the obvious thought, but I'm actually going to go with the Spinosaurus this time. And I also want it in the water, right? Maybe it's a hunter expansion that starts it. Maybe it's a quest you have to do to unlock it. Who knows? But more or less, in the first phase of the fight, you're chasing a Spinosaurus away from a village. Let's say it's like Witch Haven or something. Big Spinosaurus, right? And you're chasing it with melee, and it walks back every couple of ticks. And the more damage you do, the easier the fight gets in the second phase. But it slowly gets towards the shore while it's like biting you and clawing you and like swiping its tail at you. But it's trying to run away from you because it's trying to get into the water. And then after that timed instance where it gets into the water, you're on a boat. You get on a boat and you try to attack it. And you have to... Then the fight completely changes. Now you're on defense.
Sailing,
because
confirmed.
Spinosaurus in the water is terrifying. So you can't kill it with melee. You have to kill it with ranger mage. And the only way to actually kill it, right? It has like a rage shield. You remember those barrels and jaws? When they shoot the shark with the barrels and it can't go underwater. Picture something like that, but you have to drop it off of like a crane on a ship onto the Spinosaurus to drop the shield. Or you have to drop a couple of them on it to drop the shield to do range and mage damage. And the whole while it's doing that, it has a wave attack that it sends. Or it can knock the boat and deal shockwave damage that you have to like true tile over. Or you have to like right click stand on boxes. Maybe it'll flood the boat over a certain period of time, but like it becomes a completely different fight from like you feeling like you have the power to be on offense to then suddenly you're on defense and this thing's like ripping the ship apart. Maybe that's what it does. Maybe once it's in the water, just like Wardens, it rips the ship apart and you have less places to move. And then once the ship gets ripped apart, you die and you fail. But something where you have to drop a shield by throwing things off a boat, I think would be super cool. I like the idea of explosives, but maybe it's like crab cages or something. Who knows? So you attack the Spinosaurus like that and you eventually kill it. And then, I mean, I feel like the two coolest drops from the creature's anatomy itself would be the Spinosaurus jaws, right? Which you could make into a big two-handed sword. That could maybe, this is maybe how we introduce bleed damage. Xebec has bleed damage, right? Where if you walk tiles, you get hurt. That's how maybe it helps with bosses that move, right? Like maybe if you get a bleed proc on a boss like Nex or a God Wars boss or any boss that moves, it takes damage over time as it moves a certain amount of tiles, right? But it's like an 8-tick two-handed weapon. Like it is slow. So it's an addition. It's not good enough to be used as your primary DPS. but it's almost essential to have to like every couple of swings, smack it with the Spinosaurus jaws. Like, because I'm picturing that Michael put a photo of Spinosaurus in the recording booth chat right now. I got a marble gargoyle, so I might be a little distracted. I can claw spec this bitch. Hell yeah. He put a picture of it, and picture like the top jaw and the bottom jaw of the long snout of the Spinosaurus, like turned inside out.
Oh,
so
yeah.
instead of opening like this, they would just be like reversed, right? That's kind of what I'm picturing.
That's cool.
Yeah, and that would be the sword, and then the sail. I think just despite the defining feature of the creature itself is its massive sail. So I feel like you have to do something with it, and my first thought was like, oh, it could maybe go on the player's back. But then we already have best in slot back pieces. The sail of the Spinosaurus has to do something, but it's not going to be better than the Infernal Cape. It's not going to be better than the Avas, and it's not going to be better than the Mage Cape. So maybe, hear me out. Somebody, a submedian, just said it's the new best in slot for the sailing skill. Possibly, but Spinosaurus, you get a boon of the sea, and you get like extra fishing experience or something. Like it gives you a 1% fishing XP boost, and it's like
maybe
a pretty rare drop
into a fishing rod or something.
I don't know. I feel like people would want to wear it. I feel like people would want the sail on their back. Right, they'd want the spine of the Spinosaurus. So maybe you wear it on your back and you look really stupid, but you're like hunched. So when you're fishing, right, this is going to be ridiculous. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to hear me, but Michael will be able to give you guys visuals, right? So
he's standing up.
When you're fishing, you're kind of bent over as it is, right? You're like, whoosh, right? So if you had a sail on your back, that would look pretty cool with like a rod. Or maybe it's like sail comes back up. Consider it.
I'm considering
I think a wearable Spinosaurus sail that gives some sort of boost to fishing would be cool as shit.
Yeah.
So as always, Jagex, these ideas are free.
Not mine.
Just let us know. Just credit. just credit us a little bit. That'd be cool. Acknowledge the show, and we'll be content.
So I want to kind of add a mechanic to mine, because I like the idea that you're either on a small island fighting a megalodon, or you're on a boat, and the boat is like in a what if you're in a whirlpool and you're going like around and around, and eventually, never mind. The mechanic.
If you don't kill the megalodon, you die. Like
you die in a thing. Anyway, I think it would be really cool is if the shark was somehow able to jump over the ship and like take like snaps at you, and you know when it's gonna happen, and if you don't get out of the way, then you take massive damage. So it's like you're on your ship and there's a safe spot, and if you don't run to that safe area, you're going to get chomped as it jumps over your ship. That would be cool. That can't really happen if you're like underwater fighting it, but maybe there are multiple phases to the megalodon, and you start on your ship, then it destroys your ship, and you go underwater, and then that's when you fight it underwater.
Maybe you fight it in a shark cage.
Oh, that would be. Ooh.
Maybe you're cage diving the whole time, and you have to like. It's just a really big cage. I don't know. That could be cool.
That'd be neat. Submediant, thank you so much for the fun question. Birdlaw, thank you so much for the postcard. Guys, if you want to send us a postcard, we have our P.O. box open all of the time. I check it at least once a week. If you want to send us anything, it doesn't have to be a postcard. You can send us whatever you want.
Nope, not whatever you want. Just
I'll take whatever
within reason. Come on,
like now. Don't troll. Don't send me a box of glitter. Do not send me a box of glitter.
Send him a box of glitter. That's gonna be some funny stuff.
Do not send me a box of glitter.
I say we do it.
I say we don't. P.O. Box 634, Haslet, Texas 76052. I check it weekly. Please send me stuff. Please submit me and Oxy. If it's for Oxy, I'll forward it to him, obviously. But listen, guys, he has a postcard wall behind him now, not just me. So
But I'm also not giving out my address. So.
No. If you want the postcard to go to Oxie, just notate it. I'll forward it to him. I'll pop this in I'll pop this in an envelope and I'll send it to him for you. We'll make it happen. Anyway, that is it for the show, guys. Thank you so much for listening. If you made it this far, the shenanigans are great and the laughs are continuous, and Megalodon is a dinosaur.
It is
an
not,
arc.
But okay.
Like, comment, and subscribe to us on YouTube if you're already there. If you're not, we have a goal to hit more than the subscriber count that we have now. So that'd be great. Sure.
We don't know what the goal is, but it's there.
If you like the video, obviously drop a like and answer the community question in the pinned comment. You could follow us on Spotify and rate us on Apple Podcasts. Those two things would be great. Guys, join the Discord if you haven't already. Also, join the Patreon if you haven't already. And check out our merch store. Merch is Xpwaste.shop. We rarely talk about it, but we got some fire stuff. I was going to wear merch today, but I put it on, and then I looked at the thumbnail from last week, and I said, I wore this last week. I will not be doing this. So I put another shirt on. So, Xpwaste.shop. That is it. That is all the plugs. Oxy, anything else that you would like to say before we end the show?
I do not have anything else before I would like to end the show other than sharks aren't dinosaurs.
That's a matter of opinion.
That's all.
Anyway, thanks, guys.
Okay.
We'll see you guys next week.
Bye, everyone.